Welcome back in. MrGarrell in the Hosier is here for the Bounty Hunters. Once again, what are we doing and who are we talking about?
We're talking about everyone's favorite co-pilot, and not the co-pilot, but Nien Nunb.
Nien Nunb. Nien Nunb, a Sullustan male known for arms dealing and smuggling, joined the Rebel Alliance in the Galactic War. Prompted by Rebel pilot and friend Yvonne Verlaine, Nunb aided in smuggling Alderaanians off Sullustan, avoiding the Empire's pursuit after the destruction of Alderaan. He continues supporting Verlaine and Princess Leia Organa, aiding in the reunion of surviving Alderaanians and helping Organa evade Imperial capture. Later, Nunb joined the Alliance fleet, co-piloting the Millennium Falcon with General Lando Calrissian during the Battle of Endor. Their success in destroying the Death Star dealt a massive blow to the Galactic Empire. Decades later, Nunb became a starfighter pilot in the Resistance, attaining the rank of Lieutenant Commander. He fought in the Cold War, including the Battle of Starkiller Base and decisive conflict against the Sith Eternal. Sadly, during the battle, Darth Sidious's overwhelming force lightning disabled his ship, resulting in his death. So, what do we got going on with him so far?
Well, it's so weird. How do you even start with this character? Shows up in episode 6, just randomly there next to Lando in the ship, just a Sullustan male. What a weird species design, eh?
It's a little bit odd. In case you're wondering, he is the guy that's like, yeah.
Everyone's favorite Filipino.
Yeah, I'll do this really quick. There he is. You can see him right there. He's the let me do a slideshow. There we go. Oh, we can't see him. We're blocking him. But
perfect. Even better.
Did that. There you go. There he is. He's the guy on the left. Of course, he's not the sexy gentleman to your right. He is the man on the left. That is who we're talking about today.
Very wet looking.
That's all right. Sometimes you got to be a little wet looking. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's spitting all over the dashboard on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, so, surprisingly enough, it's a weird thing, the whole Rebel Alliance, because they're supposedly the heroes, but they are made up of a motley crew of smugglers and no good son of a guns. And this guy is a gun runner, a smuggler, but he has a heart of gold. I am looking at his picture right now, and now that you say that, I can't look away. Look at the snot or whatever that is that's running down. I can't now. Now you've ruined him. Now I can't look. I can't not see it.
His allergies kicked in before they went into battle. So.
Now I can only see that he has snot running down into his mouth. That's fantastic. I appreciate that.
Quite goopy.
He's quite goopy.
Yeah, he's this is one of those characters where when you're deciding what characters to do, and I'm okay, we're talking about rebels and such, and I'm like, oh, Nien Nunb be a fun one. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what's his character? I kind of think outside episode 6, where else is his character? What is he known for? What kind of history does he have? And to see his background actually being pretty fleshed out for the guy, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic Star Wars. You take a character in the background. I mean, it is fun. Sometimes when we do these characters, it's not that it's lazy. It's like fan service, I guess. And sometimes maybe not in the best way fan service, because it's like, all right, how are we gonna do that one random guy that no one has made a story about, especially in the comic book world? And they're like, I know, we'll take that guy who was sitting to the right of the guy. Nah, not that guy. The other guy. No, that one. That's the one we'll do.
The goopy guy.
The guy with all the allergies. Yeah, so he was a smuggler, and he's known for actually doing something really nice. He's known for helping the Alderaanians.
Yes.
The few that were left and scattered out. For some reason, the Empire decided we didn't do enough by blowing up their planet. No. We must track them all down like the dirty dogs they are. And he helped. He went with Princess Leia, and then a character I introduced you to last night that caused a little bit of a stir. Do you remember her name now?
The female version of Evan.
Yvonne is her name. And she was an Alderaanian, Alderaanian survivor, who was really, really close. Really thought a lot of Princess Leia, not at first. And so they worked together and he went and found them and smuggled them into safer places and became pretty close with them. And that led to one thing led to another. He became a starfighter pilot, and then boom, you get the best seat in the house, baby. You get to sit next to the one and the only Lando Calrissian. Do you think they were drinking some nice ice cold brewskis on that? Maybe
that's actually why the ingredients in that beer is what triggered his allergies.
That is probably what it was. He couldn't have that ice cold Coke 45. He couldn't handle it. His allergies like he never had that on his plane. He's like, what in the Lord?
Yeah, species wasn't attuned to it
yet. Lando was like, hey, baby, it'll be fine. Just take a drink.
Don't worry. You're co-pilot. You're not pilot. Don't worry.
So, yeah, he was his co-pilot during the second destruction of the Death Star 2 destruction, I guess you would say.
Yep.
And yeah, that's his first part of his life as a Star Wars character.
Which is already pretty impactful, like helping the Alderaanians like escape persecution and genocide, as genocide always gets brought up in the show.
Unfortunately, yes, it does a lot.
A lot. Unnervingly a lot. But yeah, like, and to the point where like we'll look in the comics that Leia actually rewards him with this what's how to describe it? This Alderaanian necklace. That's like a ceremonial item that would belong to her mother, and gives it to Nien Nunb in honor of his service to her people. Which is
we're assuming her adopted mother, not
her adopted, not Padme in there. They didn't do much for that Naboo for the Naboo people.
There's this famous line in history. It's credited to Napoleon Bonaparte, and it says, "A man will die for a piece of colored thread." And like, to give him a medal, he'll do whatever you want, right? Princess Leia has lived up to that because you saved the world, you saved the universe. She's gonna put a little necklace around you. She's gonna give you some kind of necklace to put around you, and that's all you need right there. That'll get you anywhere.
How come during the Age of Rebellion, everyone got medals but Chewbacca? Even Nien Nunb got a medal.
Even Nien Nunb got one, dude. Listen.
And we didn't even know he was around at that point. We thought he came around in episode 6 during the vow. He was there the whole time, man. He's probably flaunting to Chewbacca. And then he takes the co-pilot seat from Chewbacca.
Wookiee discrimination. Voodoo Lily knows.
This is actual Sullustan discrimination.
Yeah, we found it right now. Like it all makes sense, right? He got the necklace. He took a spot in the co-pilot. Like what is happening right now? This is ridiculous.
As they gave him the co-pilot, as he's wearing the necklace, looking at Chewie, going yeah, and then
yeah.
But nevertheless, his character does become way more all over the place because after Endor, he does go on to work with a lot of the fighting off the remnants of the Empire as a pilot and air stuff. But canon and legends, they take him both similar but different places in the end. Now, should I mention the legends first?
Yeah, let's go with the good stuff. What is the comic book company that does the legends?
Dark Horse.
Well, then it's going to be the one I want to hear because the Dark Horse always gives you the good stuff.
But here's the funny part. He does not appear in any comics and legends outside of the original Marvel run. He doesn't show up in any Dark Horse ones, which is baffling to me.
That he's not going to have his head attached to a robot. There's going to be no crazy stuff then.
But what we can say is, like a lot of the other rebel leaders post Endor, they have a happy ending. So he went on to work with the New Republic and work as a fighter, training people and such. And then eventually, when the new Yuuzhan Vong invade, he helps combat them and push them back during the war. And by the end of it, he happily just kind of retires and disappears. We don't know what happens. We don't know if he dies or whatever. He fades off into the yeah in the sky. And then canon does the opposite, where what they did with Akbar.
Yes, they do. He got Akbar'd. That needs to start being a verb in a Star Wars thing. He got Akbar'd.
They did it, but even then, even worse for him, because what happens is you have So he shows up in the entirety of the sequel trilogy. He's in Force Awakens, he's in Last Jedi, he's in Rise of Skywalker. No, I didn't even acknowledge the fact that he was there. It was so funny to me.
At any point, did he apologize to Chewbacca? At any point, do we see that on screen? Did he?
No, he probably snatched the medal that Leia gave him in Force Awakens. He snatched it from him. Now, or told him it was like a fake or something. So in Last Jedi, we get Admiral Ackbar getting killed on the bridge, and they even mention it, like offhand mention on the side. Yeah, we lost Ackbar, and like nothing, no ceremonious stuff here. For Rise of Skywalker, it takes part in the Battle of Exegol, and he fights with all the ships, and he dies off screen. There's no mention of him or seeing him die, but he's mentioned as one of the people who died during the battle.
He dies from the lightning force strike.
So bad, these guys. Like, how could you like why not?
Like, listen, everyone knows that I love the new movies. That's my favorite. Everyone knows that. But you have to start questioning, even if you like to defend the whole, the whole Rey saga there. Why is it? Why, he admits it, how dare you? Why is it that canons, comic books, different companies were like, hey, these guys fought their entire lives in the rebellion. Let's let them retire on a moon. Let's let them go become farmers. The Rey trilogy comes around and says, you know what we ought to do? We ought to kill every one of those sons of guns and not even talk about it. Let's just murder them. Let's just get rid of all of them.
Like, the only ones who don't is Wedge and Lando. They're the only ones who don't get killed off.
Listen, you watch it, sir. That Lando is never going to go.
You think in that last battle, when Lando comes in his ship and the Falcon, you think Nien Nunb would have been beside him, but no. Lando had enough of that goopy goop and did not.
Yeah, Lando's like, man, I gave him my beer, and he's dripping stuff all over the Falcon, baby. I can't have that.
Yeah, it's so funny. But
yes, that's it. He dies, and admittedly, that is mad disrespectful. It is like
so bad. But they bring back some good parts. One thing interesting about his character is, or his species, at least with his character, was that his species is called Sullustan, and I never even acknowledged the fact that if you played Battlefront 1, you actually get to go on the planet Sullustan, and it's like this kind of barren rock planet with lava going on as well, but more bright daylight than Mustafar's nighttime. So it's interesting seeing that planet look that, and like how their species is with it. You don't really imagine it looking like that.
I would say that's one of the criticisms, and I know that Star Wars is always extremely realistic. Okay, we know that. But one of the issues I have sometimes with Star Wars is they have a really bad habit of their characters. There's no way they evolved on that planet. It's like, this is not possible. Like, it's not possible that with his clearly sinus issues having, because this thing is big on my screen right here. His face is huge. I wish you could see it. With that clear sinus problem, there's no way he was developed on a lava/desert planet kind of thing. There's no way. That's what's good for sinus. That's good for your allergies. And he clearly has an issue.
Here's it. The spice is clear.
Yeah, it is kind of weird how they do that. Sometimes they do like the only one that kind of makes sense is Chewbacca, but they just made him like a Bigfoot. So it's like the Bigfoot's in the woods. Yeah. Let's put him in a bunch of woods.
And then just get Ewoks, and the same with woods, basically.
Everybody knows that walking, talking, stuffed bears are the woods. Everybody knows that.
Basically. I guess some of the other things I do want to talk about with Nien Nunb are directly seen in the comics, which I have in the slides. So it's like saving that for then. Like how he actually becomes the co-pilot for Lando. Like how he actually becomes it is shown in, funny enough, a very recent Star Wars comic.
Yeah, but all thing I would add to that is that he stayed very loyal to Leia, obviously. So when everybody else in the New Republic was saying, "Ah, you're crazy. There's no ghosts out there in space," he went out there with her and fought him until he died from a mysterious lightning storm.
He looked at Leia, went yeah, and then followed her.
How funny would it be if it was that like he didn't really want to be involved, But all he could say was, yeah. So they're like, hey, do you want to come with us? Yeah. Do you want to fight? Yeah. And actually what he was saying in his language was, no, I do not. And they just grabbed him and pulled him along.
I want to go home. Please, I want to see my family.
All right, so should we go straight to the slides then?
Yeah, his language. I was trying to understand his language, and like he'll speak in his thing, and it'll always be like scripted as if it's his language. But he'll just randomly say words in like regular, like basic, not like names, but like words. Yeah, is one of them. But like there's other ones that you'll see in the comics. He says just random words, imprecise. I think he's faking it. I think he actually knows how to speak Galactic Basic fine. He's just faking it.
Yeah, well, when somebody asks him to do something dangerous, he's like, yeah. All right, so the Bounty Hunters, episode 96. There's no way we've done 96 of those. Welcome on in, cutie.
Yep.
What's happening? Please don't take me from my children. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. Character spotlight. Yeah, we're gonna turn some of these off. Please bear with us. This is a work in progress. Well, there you go. You don't care about our faces anyway. Let's go.
So, Return of the Jedi. He is there. He is wearing the non-correct colors. He's wearing a red vest over top of a red shirt, opposed to black. Absolute fail. Lando's looking and sees the goop coming off his face there. If you look at him.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at that. He's looking up at this windshield going, are you gonna clean that up afterwards, bro? Because that is just dripping.
Yeah, Windex on the side. Just grab it, man. That's funny. And next, you go next one there. So this is a fun moment because this is following the Battle Endor, and Solo is actually pissed off that like Nien Nunb was the co-pilot for whatever reason. He's like, why would you let him? And he says, he says, and you nearly wrecked the Falcon with him. And he points over at Nien Nunb, who looks down, like all sad and everything. And Lando's in this giant purple cape.
We just assume that Lando's always in the cape. Does that even need to be said? He's
100%. If he's not, then it's actually
and there's
Lando.
There's the greatest cover the Star Wars has ever seen. Let's go.
Issue 107. Now, if you could believe it, could you believe in that middle panel underneath the giant green jolly green giant?
No, that's not.
Is Nien Nunb.
No, that's not. That is not him right there. That is ridiculous.
It is. Yeah, that's his last Legends appearance in comics. Awkward family photo from the 80s.
It is an awkward family photo from the 80s.
Can you recreate that photo of your family eventually when they get to the
I don't have that many with dogs and everything. I could probably do that. The one that's always made me laugh is that you have all these famous people. Like you can name them all off, right? Even though Chewbacca looks a little strange.
Oh, are you gonna bring up the fucking cockroach on the side?
And then you just got this cockroach behind Leia, like checking out her rear end, I guess. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's just like, hi.
Every time I look at that cover, that's there, and the two rabbits on the bottom.
He's the creeper. He's like,
I'm just drawn in by Lando being hugged by whatever that is. Bigfoot. That's not Chewbacca. That's Bigfoot.
Oh, it's a pretty Bigfoot. Like that's pretty. That's a female right there, isn't it? It has to be.
Big toe.
That's why Lando's like, hey, it don't matter.
So that's his last Legends appearance. Now this is a mess. So. Yeah, that's probably, if you can't get me off the screen, you gotta move me with it.
You're on the screen, brother.
Oh, this is hilarious. All right, so the rapid fire here. Issue 4 of Princess Leia is his first canon appearance. He shows up in other issues, issue 5 and number 3 of Shattered Empire. He shows up a bunch in the Adventures series in 2017, and I can't really get too much interior art of it or find much, but he has a 3-issue story arc directly in issues 27 to 29 with Chewbacca and Lando. And then he reappears in issue 2 of the 2020 series for Star Wars. Issue 36 of that series is where we get the how he becomes the co-pilot with Lando.
Oh, that's a good one.
And issue 12 of Hyperspace Stories has yet to come out, but that is featuring a story of one Battle Endor, and on the cover it's Nien Nunb and Lando together. Top of that, Obviously, because he shows up in the sequels, he does show up in a bunch of the Poe Dameron comics, as well as the adaptations for the Force Awakens: The Last Jedi. They never did an adaptation for Rise of Skywalker, so Allegiance issue 1 is the closest you'll get to that point. Variants. Funny enough, his first cover appearance ever is the Greg Land 1 in 20 variant for Lando. He also appears in the 40th anniversary variant for Return of the Jedi. Even though it's over, I still can't escape it. It still comes up every time.
Hey, you made these slides, so you could just have left it out if you wanted to.
I couldn't. I mean, keeping the people away from the knowledge. So yeah, beautiful Terry Dodson art. And
that's pretty.
Nien Nunb getting a good hug. He's happy. He's like, yeah.
But can we just point out? Can you just point out what? Listen, when you going in for a hug, like when I see you, in real life one day, I'm gonna go in and our cheeks will probably touch. Do you notice that she's giving him a hug and everywhere, but her head is slightly tilted away? That's for the sinuses, you know what I mean?
She doesn't want the oopie.
She doesn't want it on her cheek, so she's like, "Oh, I love him. He's the greatest." But we're gonna keep our heads like this. We're gonna keep our head like this.
God, that's funny.
I have a Mastiff at home, and it drools a lot, and so I recognize that. When I give him a hug, and I'm like, yeah. Except we're keeping the face away. We're keeping the face away.
That's so funny. And he goes. So this is after the moment of him helping smuggle a bunch of the Alderaanian stuff and supplies. And then the next page, which I'm not sure how delayed this is, seeing when you move.
No, we're good. We're good. We're on it.
Basically, Leia thanks him for his service and provides him with it was called the Caledoni waves. I bring with like Cala from like the hair episode we just did, the Calicori. I bring was like singing out with, but it gives him a nice necklace.
Yeah, the art is really good in this book, actually.
Terry Dodson, great, great artist. Doesn't do enough interior work, a lot of cover work, but when he does the interiors,
anyway, like he said, that's the necklace that we were talking about earlier. That's from Mama, so that's kind of a big deal, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Yeah, you give him the jewelry, keep him on forever. He's sticking around. So issue 2. This is the 2020 run of Star Wars. We see him there in that little rebel meeting on the far left. Under Akbar himself, and pretty silent. He's a yes man almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then this is a fun. So this is issue 36. Basically, there's this crazy, a pretty crazy maneuver where they send the Millennium Falcon to Coruscant with Chewbacca and Lando. And then following them is Nien Nunb in an A-wing. And as they make it there, obviously the Nien Nunb gets shot and he's at the crash. So Lando tells him to like jump and like they'll get him. So he ejects, and the next page.
Except for I want to talk about, is that fire and smoke, or was he sneezing in that bottom right panel? Like
he ejected himself.
Oh my God. I don't know why I haven't seen this, but I have not seen the Wookiee catch. Let's go.
Yeah, so Chewbacca leans out the port side, probably where the washroom is, and grabs him, brings him inside, and then he hops in the co-pilot seat, or in the is he in the co-pilot seat or the pilot seat?
No, he's in the pilot seat right there, isn't he?
He's in the pilot seat. Yeah, sorry, he's in the pilot seat. And Lando is like, "Okay, punch it," and he gives him a little crash course for a second. And
right there, he just says, "Have you ever flown one of these before?" Well, let's see. Well,
yeah. And then
and then there's shift hoop Trent is what he says afterwards. Let's talk about this. Not only do we have some more Chewbacca hate, we have Wookiee hate. He took the pilot seat first from him. Chewbacca, look at the top one. He's rubbing his head. I just reached out and saved him. Is that even some blood dripping off of Chewbacca right there? And
actually,
he's like,
that's a snot. That's a snot.
He's like, get off me, hairy one. I got to jump in the pilot seat. Like, what is happening?
And they do maneuver. They do his escape. And then Lando says this to him. Next panel. He's like, Pith Frock Drew Lando. And he goes like, well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say, whatever that is. The feeling's mutual. You can co-pilot the Falcon with me anytime.
And who's looking over his shoulder? Look who's looking over his shoulder.
I was gonna point that out. The over-the-shoulder, not appearance, but hatred from Chewbacca.
Oh my gosh.
Is the funniest guy.
We have found a conspiracy.
I am
Breaking
going
new
to
ground here.
use that image for stuff where it's just big ears, Nien Nunb, and Chewbacca's just angrily looking over his shoulder. Goop plus Wookiee hair equals grossest.
Yes, that does. You can't get it out. Once his goop gets in the hair, you just got to cut it right there. Lando is like, hold still.
Just gave it, like,
you just gotta
start using this as a meme.
Why
I will. If I had the foresight, I would have screenshotted that as the meme at the end.
We're not going to talk about Lando here. We're going to go Latin. I'm not going to jump too far.
That's Brando. That's Brando right there. So these are... So issue 16, I didn't include any of the adventures covers, or because obviously we're looking at the interiors, but issue 16 and set 27 here both have a variant with him on it, and he's in both co-pilot seats with Lando and Chewie in the Prime. There's a reason why they look really angry on the right one, and it's not because they're fighting all the TIE fighters, it's because they're fighting for who gets the pilot seat.
They're fighting over the pilot seat right there. I do like how they consistently just always have Lando, like, it could be burning and there's people all around him, and they always just have him in this pose where he's just like, yeah, it's all right.
He's made peace with everything. He's okay. So here you go. So this is this is the Poe Dameron Age of Resistance special, and at the end of the thing, this is basically Poe Dameron was doing some maneuvers and everything, practicing as a pilot, and Nien Nunb there with Admiral Holdo.
That's a lot of English right there.
So that's what I was gonna say. So they have it like that's what it's actually saying. That's what he's actually saying beneath his yes.
Oh, okay. So that's the translation. That's why the little signal's there. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Which means that
So let me ask you this question. Do they wear some kind of device, or is everyone just so much smarter than Star Wars where they know like 100 languages?
Everyone took a semester in
all the different languages.
Well, you wonder that because like some people go, I don't understand droid. And it's like, but how many droids are there in the whole galaxy? And you don't understand droid, but you understand the random Sullustan language. Or I don't understand Wookiee. Okay, that's fair. That Wookiees don't really leave their planet much. They're very much a like isolationist group. But you know how to speak every other. It's a very weird one.
Oh, that's a cool cover, even though it's Force Awakens.
Yes, that's a good one. Issue 5. Funny enough, I do really like looking at these adaptations. I never really looked through them at all for the sequel trilogy. I do like the interior art and the covers. I think that whoever did those did a good job, despite the source material.
Except for who's the old guy down here at the bottom?
Who's that guy? That's what's his name?
Right there. They made him look a little rough right there. All right, so where's I see him now. I see him.
Can you play where's
Yeah, I got him. He's on the right over there. He looks a little tall.
But yeah, that would be issue 5 of Force Awakens he shows up in. And then Last Jedi, issue 6, he shows up there at the end where they're all standing on the ship. He's just the most brightest fellow around.
He is, man. He's
funny because everyone wears orange, right, for their jumpsuits, but he has red.
No, he don't have to wear it. He wears wherever he wants to wear. He's co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon, baby.
So yeah. And then this is Allegiance. So this is like leading into The Rise of Skywalker. They never did a comic for it. And I wonder if you can see him there. You can also find him.
Is that behind C-3PO?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. They fit him in there. They got him in.
They fit him in there before they killed him, dude. They told him. And then join us the sequels. This is the cover to Hyperspace Stories 12. That's not yet to come out. There is a B cover which shows the Falcon in flight, but this is the interior or the A cover. Sorry.
Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Yep.
What the hell is hanging?
A teddy bear?
Is that a teddy bear?
Here's the thing I'm curious about. It's probably an Ewok.
Is that an Ewok or is that a Wookiee?
An Ewok.
Is that a baby Wookiee that he's mocking Chewbacca with? What is that up there?
So here's the thing. I was gonna point this out to you after I noticed that. Okay. That little Ewok thing, possibly Ewok, looks awfully like the previous issue of this hyperspace, or 2 issues before this hyperspace story, is the Bad Batch one. And on the cover, it shows the whole Bad Batch team minus Omega and Echo, and that bear is there.
That's Chewbacca.
I wonder if
he's mocking right now.
No pins and needles in it. But yeah, and then these are the 2 variant covers he shows up in. So on the left,
you just keep adding into
favorite issue 37 on 4. On the left is his first cover appearance as well. A great cover, honestly.
Lando's looking real good. He's looking real nice in that, Lando.
No wonder 1 in 20. And then the right, obviously, is the I'm not gonna say the whole spiel. All right. Tune back for 40 other episodes where I said it.
So that's his comic book appearances, and it's pretty awesome. Most of the time it's just him in Chewbacca seat. Let's just be honest. That's what they're doing.
It's slander at the highest form. But his toys are interesting. I'll say he's got more than I thought, but also some interesting ones. On the left is his first toy. It was the 1980s Kenner one.
What the hell is the one on the right?
Not really goopy. So that's what surprised me. The Legacy collection is this collection of more like a lot of like the expanded universe or expanded universe stuff. That's him in his B-wing pilot outfit.
Okay.
So he was a B-wing pilot between, and it's interesting. It's just a really interesting outfit.
I don't know. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. But if you look at the Return of the Jedi one, which by the way, it's actually a pretty cool toy. Like he's pretty good. He makes a pretty good toy. What is underneath? What is that right there above his mouth? It's the drip. The drip is hardened or something. Is that a giant alien booger? Like what is on the underneath his flap? Right above the mouth. What is that?
Well, here's the best part. The next panel, we might get a better look at it.
Yes, there it is again.
In that one, it's the so on the left quickly is the Force Awakens toy where his head looks a little.
Hold on, Voodoo said it's spice.
Spice.
It is a little colored. His lip does look like he's been into something. He definitely does.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because on the right is the 40th. It's the vintage collection 40th anniversary one. But yeah, it's definitely weird.
Space Coke is what she said.
You have to wonder. Like I sometimes look at this up, and sometimes I don't look it up about the behind the scenes with the costuming. I wonder if that's just like, is that like a mask? They put over his head? Is it prosthetics?
Well, whatever it is, he can move because he definitely is like yeah. So he can definitely move the mouth. You do got a lot. You got to work a lot of hours. They expect you to be able to pull off a lot of stuff. So sometimes we got a long way to go in a short time to get there, and we got to do what it's got to be done.
And then here's a surprise for you. This character's been around since '83. He has not had a Lego figure ever. He's never had a Lego figure.
Chewbacca gets his revenge. Yes.
So here's something really crazy. I didn't include it here. I should have as a reference. So this here is 2 Lego. He has 2 versions of a Lego figure in the Force Awakens game, but no actual real figure. But there is a Lego set, the UCS B-Wing, which is an amazing set, has 3 figures, and I thought it was him. There is a Sullustan male who looks just like him, but he is a different character. He's one that shows up in Return of the Jedi in the background for 1 frame. And
but not him. But he doesn't get one.
Not Nien Nunb for some reason.
That's weird.
There guy shows up in the hangar. It's like the hangar shot for really quickly, and he's with the B-Wing. That's why he's there.
And you said the Force Awakens has a Lego game?
Yes, you know not? No, it was one of the first open world ones they did.
No, I've never seen such a thing. Anyway, let's continue.
But yeah, so that's funny.
That's it.
That's Nien Nunb. That's Nien Nunb. He doesn't know our toys.
All right. I can't really go back, so we're gonna have to leave it here. I don't really know how to go back the way this is.
That's
Anyway.
okay.
Yeah. So that is our man Nien Nunb. He is a smuggler, and he ends up have a heart of gold. Now I don't know. At first
A heart of gold with a secret sensational urge for Wookiee discrimination.
I thought they did him wrong. You know, I was like, they didn't do him right. But now that I see what he's done with Chewbacca over the years, I don't know. Maybe he deserved to be lightened up and killed off screen. Maybe he deserved it.
Maybe actually reason died off screen is because Chewie had Lando shoot him down. Lando felt the crimes.
Lando helped with those crimes. What are you talking about? He was offering beer and everything.
That's why he regret. No, you know why? Is because he didn't accept the beer. Remember, he didn't like it.
All right, so that is it. If you liked it, always you can give a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing something you like. You can sub up so you never miss a thing. If you want to watch it, do it live so you can hang out here like Cutie Kid and Voodoo Lily did. All you have to do is catch us on Twitch at 7:30 Central Time. And that'll be it. Thanks for watching, guys.